guys, Kimberly here with Kimber's Cozy Creations, and welcome to my channel. This is podcast episode number 2, so that's super exciting. Thank you everyone who watched the last one, had positive feedback from that, which was exciting because I was still super nervous about the whole thing, and it was kind of a mess. We're out in the living room today, so that's a different change of scenery a little bit, but sorry that the lighting's all wonky. I had full intentions of filming this earlier, and then just didn't happen, and now it's starting to storm outside, so there's not as much natural light as I wanted, but anyways, we'll roll with it, we'll make it work. So I guess we'll get started with finished objects. I hope your guys' weeks have gone well. It's been 2 weeks, but yeah, let's get some finished objects. So first up I have this Tides of Ivy sock. I knit a sock and finished it. I mean, I still have to weave in all the ends, but it's done. And it fits decently. It's a little bit loose around the ankle. I don't know if that's just because I didn't end up knitting the right size, or my tension was off, or whatnot. But it is my first sock, so it's kind of hard to tell like what the issue is, because usually with tops I can pretty much guess what the issue is and be able to fix it. So I'm making its mate right now. Still have to weave in all these ends, but super excited. Knit a sock, which is awesome. This pattern is the Tides of Ivy sock. It's from CrochetlandByBrittany. So Brittany tested it for her. Believe it's going to be coming out soonish. I don't have an exact date on that one. I'll find out and let you guys know. But yeah, super excited. Knit a sock. It fits for the most part, so that's super exciting. Up next we have my Bombshell crop. Finished it. I posted pictures on Instagram. This is from Chantal of Knitatude. Short sleeved top. My favorite part are these little shell details at the bottom. Super exciting. Ribbing at the bottom, which is really nice. I really like the overall fit of it. I just need to find a looser bind off, if that makes sense. Because like the ribbing stretches, but my bind off doesn't as much. And so like the ribbing part fit, but since the bind off was tighter, it was a little bit too snug for my personal preference. So if anybody has a good loose bind off, let me know. And then I had the same issues with the sleeves. It fit, just my bind off was a little too tight. So it was more snug than I personally prefer. But overall, isn't it beautiful? I really like it. And this pattern is released already. I will put a link directly to the pattern in the description box below. Yeah, I really like it. It was really fun to knit. It was my first knitted garment that I finished, which was nice. Yeah, just super simple. Top down, split for the sleeves, did the bottom, and then really all you had to do for this, like after you split for sleeves, was the ribbing. So it wasn't even really an extra sleeve part, it was just the finishing with the ribbing, which I really liked. But that is my Bombshell crop. Super cute, super comfortable. Thought it was pretty easy to make, especially being my first knitted garment. I think it did help that I had previous garment experience in general, because I've done several crochet garments before. So I think having that basic understanding of kind of how the construction of the garment works helped me a lot with this one. And it was more of just the knitting part itself that I kind of had to figure out and not really stumble with, but make sure I was doing it right and all that good stuff. That's all I have for finished objects this time. I should have a lot more, but I completely overloaded myself with tests all at once, which is my own fault. But so a lot of them have some progress made, but they're not finished yet, even though they should be. But I've always had that issue of taking on more than I can handle and putting too much on my plate. Even when I was little, I always did that. And I know one time my mom was like, well, if you put too much on your plate, you're like going to start overflowing and all that stuff. And my solution was get a second plate. Instead of clearing stuff off the plate, was just get a second plate so you can add more stuff to it. So that's just the type of person I am. I just want to help all the designers and want to just help everybody and do everything that I can, but I can't always do it. And I'm still struggling with that and kind of figuring out where that limit is. And so I think from here on out, I'm going to limit myself to 3 or 4 tests at a time and not 6 or 7 like I had before. And I do have one coming up that is a knit colorwork sweater that isn't due until September 1st, but I'm pretty sure, like, I'm not going to take on any more test what I have is what I have for now until I get that one done. Because I know that one's going to take a while, just because it's a knitted sweater, so like long sleeve, full length sweater, and it has color work in it, which I have very, very limited experience with, so I don't want to overfill my plate again and not be able to give that test or any of my tests the energy and dedication that I need to do a good job, which I'm still trying to finish up the other ones, but it's been a struggle, and I almost didn't even film this podcast today because I was feeling guilty and overwhelmed with the fact that I didn't finish all of those, but I figured need to be transparent and real with all of y'all, and honest, and yeah, so you're gonna see the progress I've made when I get into my whips here soon, but yeah, I didn't intend for them to end up half done after the test date. They're still not done yet. Had every intention to finish them and get them in on time, and wasn't able to, and I feel really bad about that. Feel really guilty, trying to not let it get to me too much, but easier said than done, right? And then also another thing that kind of didn't help the past couple weeks in terms of getting all the testing done is that my MS, so I have multiple sclerosis, so my MS flared up some last week and the week before, so usually I use my knitting and crocheting as kind of a way to deal with that and deal with it, I guess, work through the hard days and stuff. But then the past couple weeks it was flaring so badly that like knitting and crocheting physically hurt, which isn't fun, but it is what it is. And I'm thinking about doing another podcast type of thing that's strictly just knitting, crocheting, making, and dealing with or living with a chronic illness and then like mental health issues, because that's me. But that'll be conversation for another day. And I was actually, let me know if you guys think this is a good idea or not. I was thinking of doing a little kind of mini series of topics kind of like that. So I would do one for like the size inclusivity, making and mental health type stuff, and then kind of whatever other topics come up that would be too much to cover in the weekly podcast. And I'm thinking about calling it like Kimber's Coffee Chats or something like that. I want to kind of stick with the KCC of Kimber's Cozy Creations, but I'm not quite sure what to call it yet, or if it's even something you guys would be interested in, because I know last podcast I talked about, or I started getting into the size inclusivity conversation topic, and a couple people have expressed interest in hearing more about like kind of my thoughts about it and just the general what the whole discussion's about and learning more about it. So I think that will definitely be its own podcast or like own episode. But I think I'm going to make that into like a whole mini series. Yeah, let me know what you think about that. I think I'll do that. I don't know. There won't be any like schedule for those. They'll just be, oh, I should talk about size inclusivity or mental health and making. And they'll just kind of come up as topics come up, I guess, is the best way to say that. But yeah, I guess that's kind of a long-winded reason why I'm feeling super guilty, overwhelmed, stressed about not having more FOs for you guys this time. But also I have made progress on my whips, so it kind of balances out. I don't know. I guess we'll get into whips and you'll just see them, and then hopefully more of them are actually FOs next week. Hopefully. But, I guess for whips this week, this time, I have this yarn is so gorgeous, guys. It is the Willamette Daisy Shawl from Sarah of NoHooksGiven. This is all I have so far, just a little baby shawl. And it will be a big, like, triangle shawl, I think they're called. This is the first shawl in this shape that I've made. All my other ones that I've made have been, you start in the middle and you go the V, so you, like, work one row and then you turn and work back. I think those are triangle shawl, V shawls, I don't know. But this one's going to be super gorgeous. There's going to be star stitches in it, which I haven't gotten to yet. It's just going to be beautiful. The pattern is from Sarah of NoHooksGiven. The yarn is from Marianne of T-Hooks. And it is just beautiful. It has colors not showing up super well on this. Like I said, the lighting's terrible. But this colorway is called Fibertude, and the inspiration for this colorway was actually Chantal from Knitatude, her hair color, because it's always pinks and purples, and it's just always fun and pretty. So that was the inspiration for this colorway, and this one's called Fibertude, so it's a play off of Knitatude. It looks super fun. This is what it looks like all caked up. It's a little bit darker than this, like these purples are a little bit darker. It's not quite showing its true color. It's super gorgeous. I'm gonna get pictures of it later and put it on my Instagram feed, so keep an eye out for that. Super soft. I have more of this I'll show you in a little bit, and then I'll give you all like the fiber content and stuff, because I don't know where the wrap label for this specific skein is right now, but I have more. So I'll show you that later and tell you fiber content and stuff. Yeah, so that's going to be from Sarah, and it's super gorgeous. The entire, like, the worked up pattern looks really, really pretty. Super long on one end and then the point on the other. I think it's an asymmetric shawl, triangle shawl. I don't remember what they're called. They're called something. Super excited about that one. Super soft yarn to work with. Really love it. And then I guess another new, so that's the new whip from last time, which is also a test. And then my other new whip is, I just have swatches for it now. It's going to be this fabric. So it's a half double, and then a triple crochet. This is going to be the Charlotte tank, and this is designed by Daisy of Gigi and the Owl. It's a prelum tank top, so it's like the fitted, and then it has like the little mini, not mini skirt, but like the flare at the bottom. I know it starts with a P. Prelup, something like that. I hope You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna be this gray color. Originally I had just the dark gray, but my gauge was way, way off. And then talking with Daisy about it, it was, I guess, the wool-like from Michael's. So this is the light gray, and then this is the dark gray. So I'm holding those two together. But the pattern calls for fingering weight yarn, and I guess wool-like from Michael's is more of a light fingering. So even, like, they call it, like, it's classified as a superfine 1 weight, which I assumed was just the same thing as fingering, but I guess it isn't. The more you learn, I guess. But, so I have to hold 2 of them together to get gauge. If I was just holding 1, I ended up, so the pattern calls for a 4mm. I ended up almost like a 7mm to get gauge, and that's a little too much. So I talked to Daisy about it and was like, we'll hold 2 of them together, see if that helps. And it does. I just have to size up to a 4.5mm, which is typical for me. But yeah, that one's a new whip/test. Super excited about it. The fabric is super soft and squishy. It's gonna lay, like, drape really nicely. But yeah, so hopefully, no, it will have more progress by next podcast. So I'll show you that. Super excited for that. Soft, squishy. It should work up pretty quickly. It's just a super basic tank top, but it still looks really, really nice. I don't want to say basic like a bad thing. Like, it's, I guess, simple and elegant is what I should say about that. Yeah, it's a simple, elegant tank top. Super excited to get it done and wear it. So I guess kind of another whip that I have, that's really crinkly, I'm sorry, is the True Love tank top from Justina of Lady J Crochet. So this is what I have done so far. So this is the body. So I have this gray at the bottom, and then the white cream, and then the blue. So I'm actually at the point where, so this is splitting for sleeves. So this is the front panel. I have a couple rows done of that. Guys, this is so squishy, so soft. Can't wait to finish it and wear it. I know it's been like 100 and some degrees here lately, but I'm so excited about this tank, or this turtleneck. Yeah, it's super gorgeous, super pretty. This one is also published already, so I will have a link directly to the pattern below. Yeah, the bottom is ribbed, and then they're going to be long with sleeves, and then the turtleneck part. So hopefully this one will be done next time. I'm hoping. I hope. I don't know. And then this one's with Color Made Easy. I talked about it in the last one. So squishy. Super soft, super squishy. I really like it. So that's that one. Another whip I have actually is my second Tides of Ivy sock. So my first one is this mess. My first one I knit with double pointed needles, which I really liked. My ultimate sock knitting goal, I would say, is doing 2 at a time on the magic loop. So I figured I would try the magic loop, get that figured out before I try 2 at a time with it. And 2 at a time, for those of you who don't know, is you'll literally be knitting. So like this is one sock, you would have the other sock here. So you would just keep knitting both of them at the same time, which is a great way to alleviate second sock syndrome, which is when you finish your one sock, you don't want to actually go and knit the second one. So then you'll have a pair of socks by the time you cast off, instead of having one sock done and then have to knit the other one. So you're doing the same amount of knitting, it's just that with 2 at a time, they both are done at the same time. You have a pair of socks, Whereas with double pointed needles or just a regular magic loop, you have one, you finish it, and then you have to start over again and knit the second one. So I have 2 rows done of this guy so far. And I don't know if it's so I ordered these needles off of Amazon, and I don't know if I just apparently didn't see it in the description box, but it's a steel cable instead of a plastic one that I'm used to and that I like. So I don't know yet if I just don't like or get the magic loop. Like, I understand how it works and I get like why it works and all that, but I'm just not enjoying it as much as I thought I would, or I hoped I would. And I can't tell yet if it's just because I don't like magic loop, or if it's because of this steel cable it's flexible, but it's not as flexible as like the plastic ones. So it's still very cumbersome to work with. I'm going to keep going with it and see if it's just that I'm not used to it yet, or if it is the cable, or if it's the fact that I just don't like magic loop, which is, some people prefer DPNs from the very beginning and will stick with them till the day they die type of situation, and some people swear by magic loop. So it really, I just haven't quite figured out what type of person I am yet, I guess. But if you guys have suggestions for a like plastic flexible size 1 or US size 1 circular needles for magic loop, let me know, because I have a set of my regular knitting needles I use are from Clover, and I really like them. I really enjoy them. I have a set of interchangeable ones, and I couldn't find either just the needles for the interchangeable set, or just a long size 1 circular needle from Clover. So I don't know if I just didn't find it or if they don't have one. This is Granite. If you remember the cat in the last episode that was meowing because she was stuck in the bedroom with me and didn't want to be, that's her. Yep. She's a little drama queen sometimes, but she's a sweetheart. But yeah, so if anybody has any suggestions, or if they have a pair that they really like, let me know. I'm still looking for them. Still going to give it a try. I'm hoping it's just the fact that it's a steel cable that's kind of throwing it off, but we'll keep going with them. But yeah, so there's the beginning of a second Tides of Ivy sock, which will hopefully be done by the next podcast. Yeah. Hi, baby girl. You gonna be a co-host? So I have a co-host today. That's exciting. Hi. And then my next whip is gonna be this guy. Is the summer. I don't know if I mentioned the Tides of Ivy socks isn't released yet. Don't know the date right now, but as soon as I do, I'll let you guys know. And then I'll post about it on Instagram, link it in the next podcast, whatever. But this next guy is the summer wrap top from Claire of EClaireMakery. I think this is about where it was last time, but I also had to, I completely forgot, like she sent out, so this is another one I was testing, but she sent out an updated pattern because some of the counts were off and stuff, and I completely spaced it. So I was working off of the old numbers. So I had to frog, like, I think 15 rows or something like that. So like all the way back up to here. And so I haven't made as much progress because I had to frog most of what I had done. But this one is released already. Again, I'll link the actual, like, directly to the pattern in the description box. still really enjoying the pattern. Just haven't been able to work on it as much as I want to. Yeah, I talked about all that guilt, stress stuff already, so we're not going to get back into that. But I'm really liking how this colorway is working out. It's of course the label isn't in here, but it's from Lion Brand. It's the Big Scoop ice cream. So it's like their ice cream skeins, but it's Big Scoop, so it's 2 or 3 times as big. And I don't remember the colorway off the top of my head, and the label's in the other room. So, but it's super pretty. I really like how it's working out. Just the blues and whites. But yeah, hopefully that one will have much more progress by the next episode. And then another one that is published that I haven't finished yet is the Waverly Hooded Cardigan from Meghan of MeghanMakesDo. I don't know if you guys remember last time, but I had literally like 2 rows done. So it's a much better improvement than last time. So I have the back panel done. Let me see if I can get detail in there. That's the wrong side. This is the right side of it. Love the detail. Love how it just drapes. So I have the back panel done, and then part of the right front panel here. Like, I think like 7 rows or something of the front panel. So it works up the back, and then you do the front panel on the right side, then you reattach to the left panel, seam up the sides, sleeves, hood, and then there's a trim that goes all the way around. There's also an optional, I'm probably not going to do it, an optional waist tie type of thing, band, I don't know what you want to call it, belt, that's what it's called, a belt. And then she also gives you instructions for the loops that you can put on the cardigan itself to hold the belt in place, which is really nice. I don't think I'm going to do that, mostly because I was only able to get a limited amount of yarn in this color. So I don't know if I'll have enough to do the belt. If I do, I'll probably add it, just because I like to be able to tie it closed so it stays closed. But yeah, the detail, like the texture on this, it's just lovely. I really like it. But yeah, this one is published already. I will put the link directly to the pattern again, like everything else. Super soft. It's going to feel really good as far as like drape goes. And the texture is really nice too. And it's made out of the pattern calls for Lion Brand ZZ Twist, which I've really enjoyed working with, actually. I was hesitant about it at first, as far as if I would like it or not. But I actually really do like it a lot. It's nice. So that one will hopefully be further along by the next round too. And then this other new whip since last time, and it was also a test, is this pink fin cowl from CrochetlandByBrittany. And so guys, I finished my sock. So the first sock I ever knitted, and then started this guy, which has cables. So am I officially a knitter now? Because I've knit a sock and I somewhat know how to knit cables? Am I? I don't know. I don't know. I think I consider myself an actual knitter now. Before, I think I would classify myself as like a crocheter who also knits. But now I feel confident in saying that I'm a crocheter and a knitter. I feel good about that. But anyways, the texture on this, guys, is gorgeous. So it has ribbing on the end, and then it goes into this cable, and then ribbing another cable, and then ribbing. So it's a 6-row repeat. So like from, it's really hard to show. So from like the bottom of this one to the top is a repeat. So it's a 6-row repeat, just back and forth. So you'll just knit this, so it ends up going this way as a cowl. So you just knit it as long as you want, seam it up, and then you got a cowl. For this one I'm using, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby, and it is the dark country blue color. Let's see if that'll focus. And it's 100% acrylic. It's super soft. I really like it. So I'm going to finish this one in this color. And then I'm also thinking about making one out of bulky yarn. So like probably Color Made Easy. I think I have a couple extra skeins of that. Because I just feel like these cables in a bulky weight would be super squishy, super soft, like comfortable to wear for winter when it gets cold out. Yeah, I'm really thinking about doing that. Yeah, and so I'm all over the place today. I'm sorry, guys. So like I was talking about before, like the steel. So these are my Clover ones that are like the plastic cable. And they're just a lot more flexible. So I'm really thinking if I find a plastic cabled set of circulars for Magic Loop, Magic Circle, I'll like it a lot more. Still on the fence about it. Anyways, so this is going to be coming from Brittany, from Crochetland by Brittany. Not sure on release date on this one yet either. But it's a super simple 6-row repeat. I feel like this is a very beginner-friendly cable. I've never knit cables before. Very simple. She explains it really well. She has pictures in her directions, which I really appreciate. I'm much more of a visual learner than just reading about it. But yeah, this is going to be really, really pretty. I also really like this color. Max picked it out and I was a little bit hesitant about it, but I really like it. I really like how it looks worked up like this. I like that it's like it's a blue, but it's not, like usually most blues are kind of like royal blue or like super blue. It's more of a gray blue, if that makes any sense, which I really like. But I really like how this one's turning out. And it has cables, which is super exciting. But I would definitely say that's like a beginner-friendly cable pattern. If you want to get into cables or try them, give them a shot. I would say that would be your pattern to do that with. So I have everything written down. That's why I keep looking down. Sorry. Think the only other... Very crinkly. Sorry, guys. Whip update I have for you guys is, this is the Sandia Croc, which is also released. I'll put a link directly to it below. Last time I only had like a panel of it done, but right now I'm working on splitting for sleeves. So this will go like just like that. And then, this cable's weird in here. Just like that, I think I'm probably like 10 rows away maybe from being at the very top of the shoulders, and then the rest of it will just work back down the other way. So like there were decreases to make this, so on the back there'll just be increases to get it back together, and then just square body on the back side too. I really like this ribbing. I'm a fan of ribbing, guys. But yeah, super soft, super easy to make. Just have been struggling with life and making stuff lately, which is sad because I really enjoy it and I feel guilty, bad, whatever. Anyways, so the colorwork long sleeve sweater that I was talking about earlier is called the Vitrage. I don't know. I'll put it in the description box. I believe it's a French word. I looked it up at one point. I think I think it means like windows or something. Like not windows, but like panes or something. I'll Google it and Google Translate it for you guys and put it in the description box below. But it's gonna be from Boho Chic Fiber Company. So Annie over there. And Marion from T-Hooks is actually going to be dyeing my yarn for that, and I'm super excited for it. She sent me some pictures of the samples that she dyed up for me, and it's going to be a dark gray. It's going to be like the main body color, then a lighter gray as an accent color, and then it's going to have a dark purple and a dark teal type of color. I'm really excited about it. Again, as soon as I get those in the podcast after that, I will show you guys the beautifulness. I'm really excited about that. I haven't cast it on yet because I am still waiting for yarn, which is nice because then it gives me time to wrap up my other things that I need to get done. Yeah, super excited. Kind of nervous about that one because it is a full-length long sleeve sweater, first of all. Haven't done one of those yet. And then the fact that it is, it has color work in it, because I've played around with color work in the sense that I made myself a swatch and tried switching colors in it. But this will definitely be my first follow a pattern color work, which I am excited for. Kind of nervous about it, but it'll be fine. It'll work out. Yeah, it'll be great. I'm excited for that. I think that's all I have for whips right now. I mean, I have a couple blankets that are still in progress, and I think a beanie and a shawl or something like that, but maybe one day I'll have just a pure whips. Maybe I'll do that in a little mini series thing, like pure whip episode where I find all of my, the 3 or 4 blankets that I have in progress, whatever random shawls, hats, whatever stuff that I randomly started and just haven't done anything with. I keep working on them, but they're not as prominent in my whip schedule as the stuff that I show you guys every week. I think we'll do that. I think that'll be fun. Or if I get caught up on whips, I'll throw it in one of the podcast episodes. We'll do that. Something will happen. I'll show them to you guys eventually. So I guess that's all I have for whips right now. I'm going to show you guys some beautiful yarn babies that I got this past 2 weeks. Because last time I showed you my, what month is it, June? My May Yarn Club of the Month from Inked Sheep Fibers, Talia over at Inked Sheep Fibers. And I got my June Yarn of the Month. It's called Sandcastle. Guys, it is so gorgeous. And so it has dark yellow, light yellow, then it has these gorgeous red speckles. There's some blue speckles in there. It is just true color isn't quite showing up here. I think that's pretty close. So it's a deep yellow, and then it has this lighter yellow, the pink, and then these blue speckles as well. And it's just gorgeous. So soft. Same base as the other one, which is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. Super squishy, super soft. Can't wait to make socks out of this. Still working on finding a sock pattern that I absolutely love, that I want to make every single month type of situation. I think next up for socks, I'm going to try the Rose City Rollers. Don't remember who it's by off the top of my head. I'll link it down below. But they're shorty socks. They look super simple, elegant. Just knit them, basically. So I think I'm going to do that with this. So then it will showcase the yarn and not have too many textures that will take away from the beauty of the yarn itself, if that makes sense. That's what I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to try knitting those guys up soonish next, and we'll go from there with them. But I was so excited when this came in the mail. I just opened it up and it was just like sunshine, basically. So pretty. Yeah, I love the speckles in there. I think this part's probably my favorite. Just the speckles. Super excited. You guys should get on her yarn, yarn club. So it's a monthly skein of yarn that you get. Her fingering, 75-25 base. I believe it is $28 a month plus shipping and handling. It's either 25 or 28. I can't remember off the top of my head. So it's your average skein of yarn price, what you would pay normally, except it's a surprise every month, which I really like, because I honestly wouldn't have picked this for myself. Like, if I was cruising on somebody's website and saw this colorway, I would say, oh, that's pretty, and then scroll right by it. Like, I wouldn't have put it in the cart and bought it for myself. But I'm glad I have it. Like, I'm really glad I have it. So I think that's going to be the beauty of the yarn club, is that I'll get colorways that I wouldn't pick out for myself. But I really enjoy them. I've only gotten 2 so far, but I'm happy with both of them, obviously. So I can't wait to see what next month's is. It's super pretty. Anyways, and then I also got, sorry, this is all crinkly, this bag of goodness from Marianne at T-Hooks. She has the most gorgeous yarn, guys. You really need to check her out. So the Fibertude colorway, this is what it looks like. Yeah, Fibertude colorway. This is what it looks like, skeined up. Or hanked up? I don't know. Maybe we'll get actual color. That's kind of close to actual color. So it's with purples and pinks. And it is 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere. And it's a DK weight. I don't remember if I mentioned that or not. Doesn't want to focus. Anyways, but also forgot to mention too, so this is a collaboration between Sarah and Marianne, and there are I think 4 other colorways besides Fibertude. There's a NoHooksGiven colorway, which is blue and yellow, and I think a little bit of gray in there too. Super, super pretty. And then there's a Lady Rose colorway, which has pinks and greens, and then like a cream base, also super, super pretty. There is a orange, I want to say it's called pumpkin spice or something like that. I don't remember the exact name off the top of my head, but it's orangey, brownish, like super pretty. And then I want to say there's a green based colorway too. I don't know the name of that one. But yeah, there's a bunch of colorways. I know Marianne has been like posting them on her Instagram feed, so make sure you check those out. I think Sarah has as well. But guys, this yarn is so squishy, so soft. Baby alpaca, like super soft. Can't go wrong with that. So soft. I think DK weight is my favorite, my current favorite yarn weight, because it's not as thin as fingering, so it works up quicker, but it's also not bulky, so it has a much better drape than it would if it was like a worsted or a bulky, which I really like. I like projects that work up quicker and like drape nicely. So yeah, DK weight I think is my current favorite. But yeah, so the shawl is 3 skeins of this. So these are the 2, and then the one that I have balled up as well. Yeah, just the, like, it's just so beautiful. I love it so much. So soft too. And I believe that they will be doing pre-ordered kits closer to the pattern release day, which I don't know what it is right now. So keep an eye out for the kits. I'll probably mention it again once it gets closer to actually releasing. Mention the kits and where you can get them and all that stuff. So some other stuff that I got from Marianne is, should have had these all out earlier, I apologize guys. This beautiful thing, it has greens, it's like a purple-ish base, has blues, has some reds in there. It's a one-of-a-kind colorway, and it's on it's a fingering sock weight, so it's thinner, but it is 50% baby camel, 50% silk. First off, I didn't know you can make yarn out of baby camels, like their hair, not the actual baby camels. And it is so soft, guys. Like, paired with the silk, it's just gorgeous. Like, there's green speckles in this one. Like, it's just super soft, too. Not quite sure what I'm going to make with it yet. Probably a pair of socks that would be super, super soft. Maybe I'll do the Rose City rollers out of this guy. Maybe that'll... Yeah, I think I like that. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. We'll do that. Yeah, I know the space isn't currently, like, listed in her shop, but we were talking about something and she showed me a picture of what she was working on, and it was another colorway, but it was her camel silk mix, and my mind was just blown that you could make yarn out of camel hair, fur, I think it's hair. And she was like, oh, well, I can dye one up for you if you want. And I said, yes, please. And so this is what I got. Super pretty. I really like it. It's a little bit darker than how it's showing up right now. I think lighting is just really weird. It's a little bit darker than how it's showing up, but it's super soft. I'm going to make socks out of it. That's what I'm going to do. I've decided. Do you ever do that where you get yarn because it looks really pretty, but you don't always have a plan for it? Because I do that a lot. I'm trying to be better about intentionally buying yarn. Like, I obviously want to buy all the yarn because it's all gorgeous and you have to have it all. But I'm trying to be better about buying yarn with a purpose. So either having a project in mind, being like, oh, hey, I'm going to make Rose City roller socks. This is the yarn that I'm going to get for it. Or, like, seeing the yarn and immediately being like, this is what I'm going to make with it. So I guess, yeah, I'm trying to be better about that. I have way too much yarn. I need to maybe de-stash. I just need to make stuff with what I have. So I'm trying to limit my intake of yarn. And I guess it's also nice for a good reason for the yarn club is that I know I'm getting a skein of yarn every month. Because I feel like I also go through withdrawals of getting yarn, which sounds crazy. So it gives me, I get a skein of yarn every month. It's a surprise. I don't know what it is. It's a surprise. New colorways that I wouldn't normally pick for myself. And I can make a pair of socks every month with it. So I really like that. So I think that's a good solution if you're also in the same boat of, I need to limit my yarn intake, but I also still want to get yarn. Is fine. It doesn't necessarily have to be ink sheathed fibers yarn club, though I highly recommend it. But there's so many indie dyers do like yarn clubs. I know Explorer Knits, Allie over at Explorer Knits, Explorer Knits. I'll link her below. She's getting ready to do a Harry Potter yarn club. I think it's one skein for every book, so it's going to be a 7-month long yarn club. So month 1 will be book 1, and then book 2 and stuff. Because I know a lot of people, like, I enjoy Harry Potter, but I'm not like a Harry Potter person. But I know a lot of people are. And her yarn is just so beautiful. She's doing a bunch of as if kits. So I don't know if you've seen the as if tee. Not remembering who that's designed by right now. I'll add it down below. But it's a solid tee, and then the top part is mohair. So it's like almost like a peekaboo top, but it's still coverage, which is really nice, especially because I know, like, I'm self-conscious about that stuff, so I think that's a good compromise to being a, like, super sexy flirty top, but it's still coverage. I do want to make that one someday. She has a bunch of Soldona crops, Soldonta crops. I'm not quite sure how that's pronounced, but she has a bunch of kits for that. I believe they're all out of pre-order. Not quite sure. But the Soldona crop is from Boyland Knitworks. I'm gonna get the pattern, and then I'm gonna make it. I have a couple colors floating around my head right now that I'm gonna use for it. Not quite sure what I'm gonna go with yet. When I figure it out, I'll let you guys know, but I'm gonna do it. Anyways, Explorer Knits Allie has a bunch of beautiful colors. She has a bunch of yarn clubs. Not quite sure how I got on this tangent, but we're back. So I have 3 more yarn skeins from T-Hooks, Marianne. I'm going to show them to you now because they're beautiful. So this one is the Black Lake. It's a tweed, which I also I don't think I ever really considered myself a tweed person, but Marianne has turned me for sure. I think I always just assumed, because like tweed has these little dongles, I think they're called. I think just all the tweed that I've seen before, like, always had way too many of those. So it just seemed very overbearing to me, and so I've never been a tweed person. But the stuff that Marianne uses, like, it's in there, they're there, but they're not in your face there. Which I really appreciated. And this green is so pretty. It has it's like a tonal green almost, but it does have different colors of green. It's called the Black Lake, which I believe it was from the Harry Potter books. The Slytherin house, I believe, is under the Black Lake. I think that's how it is. Like I said, I'm not a huge Harry Potter person, but I think that was the inspiration for this, which it's just beautiful. Like, I'm not normally a green person either, but I had to have this one. Yeah, like, there's darker greens down here. And it is 85% superwash BFL, and then 15% the dongle, which I'm pretty sure are these guys. I think. Super pretty. Not quite. I know I just talked about, like, buying yarn with a purpose, but I'm not quite sure what this one's going to be yet. It's just super pretty. And then I have these 2, which I did buy with a purpose. I think they're going to go together. So this one is called Nova, Again, it's one of her tweeds. If I remember correctly in the description, it was like galaxy supernova nova type of thing. So like the tweed dongles are kind of like stars, and it's like this purple and pink. Super, super soft. Super pretty. I really like this one. Super pretty. And this one again is the 85% superwash BFL and 15% Donegal. Super pretty. And my plans are to pair it with this one. Kind of do them together. There, that's better lighting. And make a breezer back tank top. I talked about it last. I think I wrote it down here. Yeah, the breeze racer back tank top from Jessie of Jessie May. Talked about that pattern last time. She was actually very kind enough and gifted me the breeze racer back tank top and the ripple bralette patterns, which was super sweet of her. Like, she didn't have to do that. It was super nice. So I'm thinking of doing a fade from one to the other for the breeze racer back top. Kind of thinking bottom to top, so the pink will be on the top. Not quite sure yet, but I know these two need to be together. I'm going to make that. I just haven't quite figured out color order yet. But yeah, this is peppermint pink, and it's a tonal. It's not a tweed. It looked tweed to me when I ordered it, and then Marianne was like, no, it's not a tweed, but it's still super pretty. It has like the tonal with speckles. That's what she said. So it has like these purple spots in it, and then just like the pink tonal. Super pretty. And it's 100% superwash merino. And all three of these are fingering weight. Yeah, so my original plan was these two into the breeze racer back, and then something with this. I might be able to get a ripple bralette out of this one. It's 438 yards, which I think for my size should be enough. But then I saw all three of them together, and I don't know, like, they look good together, I think. I also struggle with color a lot, guys, so sorry. To me, they look good together. So I don't know if I want to throw them all together into something, or do the breeze racer back and then a ripple bralette out of this guy. Or all three together in something. I just don't know what I would do with all three of them together. So if this, honestly, if this looks terrible, let me know. Like, I am so bad at putting colors together and making them work. So Max, my boyfriend, has an art degree, and he helps me pick out colors for yarn all the time for projects. Because I'll throw colors together and be like, oh, this looks really good. And he's like, those don't go together at all. So he's half the reason I have decent colors for stuff. So honestly, if this looks terrible, don't be afraid to tell me. But I think, like, to me, they look good together, but I also feel like they don't go together. So let me know what you think. So current plan is breeze racer back and then ripple bralette. Unless they do go together, and I'll find something to put them together. But they're all super soft, all super happy. Like, Marianne's the best. She's so nice to work with, so easy to work with. Like I said, she's also going to be doing my yarn for my Vitrage test. Still need to look up how to pronounce that. And that's going to be a fingering weight. I don't know what base that she's going to put it on, because I basically told her, as long as it's soft and not super, super expensive, like, pick a base. Because I know nothing about bases and the yarn dyeing world and all that stuff. So, told her these are the colors I'm looking for. I want it to be more fall ready, so they're going to be kind of the darker jewel tone colors, and then a soft base that's not super, super expensive. So hopefully we'll be getting those in, probably be a couple weeks. Like, I'm not in a super rush for that one, because I know I have a bunch of stuff to work on, so it's not like I'm waiting. Like, I am waiting for it, but it's not that I have nothing else to do until I get that. And I know Marianne's a busy person too, so whenever I get those, I'll show them to you, and we'll start doing a color work sweater. Super excited, super nervous. Yeah, those are the yarn babies that I got this past 2 weeks since last time. So I guess the last kind of segment is the fangirling segment. And then I think what I'm going to start doing, because I also do have an Etsy shop, I didn't get prepared enough in time to do it this time, but I'm going to start doing, kind of like doing little video, I mean, obviously video, listings, not really listings, but, kind of show you what's on my Etsy shop, because like, you can see so much more in a video than a picture, so I'm hoping that'll kind of help get traffic flowing over at my Etsy shop. I sold a couple things when it very first, like when I first opened it, because a couple of my friends were like, absolutely, I will buy something and support you, which I really, really appreciate, but it's been slow ever, like, nothing since then, which is also partly my fault, because I don't have everything listed yet, so I'm hoping that this will help me add to that extra, because I know I talked about it last time, where I can make stuff done easy enough. I just struggle from the having it made, taking pictures, listing it, selling it. So I'm hoping this will also help me stay accountable from getting it done, getting pictures done, get it listed, so I can tell you about it on my podcast. Does that make sense? So it's not going to be a very long segment. I have some stuff listed up there right now, but I haven't done much with it since, and I need to get stuff out of my house. So that'll be, probably starting next time, will be a new segment. It'll probably be at the end, just because I know probably a lot of people watching are more on the maker side of things, so you don't really care about what I'm selling in my Etsy store. You're more interested in, like, the projects I'm working on, because you want to make the patterns, or the yarn I have, because you also like yarn and you want to get yarn and want recommendations for that. So that'll be at the very end. So starting next episode, I'll start doing that, and hopefully that'll help with traffic and just getting the word out there, I guess, that what I have, and then you'll be able to see what each thing is better than just a couple pictures on Etsy. So yeah, that'll be a new thing starting next time. But for now, we're going to talk about a couple patterns that I'm fangirling over right now. One is talked about it a little bit, the Sandia Croc. I really need to look up how to pronounce that. I don't know. Anyways, like I said, it's from Caitlin Hunter at Boyland Knitworks. She has a bunch of gorgeous patterns. That's just one of them that I've been seeing a lot of lately. Like, everybody's making it, and I feel kind of like I want to make it because it is pretty, but I also feel like part of me is wanting to make it because everybody else is wanting to make it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I also don't want to be that bandwagon jumper person, I guess. But yeah, I have a couple color palettes floating around in my head for that one. Once I kind of land on one, I'll show it to you guys. Probably gonna buy the pattern tomorrow, this week at some point, just so I have it. So once I do come up with the color palette, I can start working on it right away. It is in color work, like it's a color work sweater, but it's also kind of like a t-shirt, like a cropped sweater type of thing, and it's short sleeve, which I'm thinking I might try to make it into a long sleeve. Just because personally I get a lot more use, like I would get a lot more use out of like a long sleeve, full length sweater than I would a short sleeve cropped sweater. Just because I'm not a huge fan of cropped things in the first place, and I'm always cold. Like, the office is always cold, I'm always cold at home. So it just makes more sense to me to make it into a long sleeve. So I'm probably going to do that, and then that'll be fun because then I'll be altering a pattern. I might try to see if there are, like on Ravelry, there are a bunch of projects for that pattern already, so I might see if somebody has already done a long sleeve version and how they modified the pattern to make it long sleeve, because I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out, but right now I can't be like, oh, I just need to do this, this, and this, and it'll be a long sleeve. Not quite there with knitting yet. In my head, I should just be able to add rows, but I also don't, like, I want it to be more of a fitted-ish sleeve. Like, I just don't want it to be like an awkward, like, boxy sleeve. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. We'll figure it out. So that's one pattern I've been, like, followed the hashtag for and everything. Been fangirling over that one a lot lately. It's just super pretty. So many options as far as color work. There's 4 colors. So you have, like, the main body and then 3 different accent colors. So many options just for, like, whatever kind of colors you want. You can make it more fall ready. You can make it spring ready, like spring colors. I've seen a couple that did, like, don't want to say a monochromatic, but I think it's called a monochromatic. So one that I saw did all different shades of gray. So, like, the body color was a darker gray and then, like, 3 other lighter grays for the accent colors, which looked really, really nice. So I'm thinking I could probably do one of those for, like, in blues. I really like blues and teals. So maybe that, or do, like, a pink or something like that. I don't know. We'll figure out the colors, and then I'll show it to you guys when we get there. And then another pattern I've been kind of fangirling over lately are the Georgia socks from Tracy. Her handle's just, and then an underscore Tracy, so just Tracy. She is half of the Grocery Girls, who's also been a podcast that I've been, like, binge watching lately. They're hilarious. They're from Canada. They're sisters. They're just so fun to watch. So funny. But Tracy and Jody, I think, is the other sister's name. Sorry if I completely butchered that. But anyways, so Tracy does a lot of sock designs, which I'm here for because I'm starting to love socks. And then Jody does a lot of, like, shawls and scarves. From what I've gathered so far, I've watched a couple, like, probably 5 or 6 out of their 80 episodes now, I think. So, from what I've gathered so far, Tracy does socks, and then Jody's more shawls and scarves, which both are great options. They're so funny to watch. It's great. You should look them up. I'll actually link them below. But, so the Georgia socks are her most recent design, I believe. So it's striped and has a little bit of lace work in it. They're just really pretty, and I really like them. And I kind of want to make some, because socks, why not? This is all I kind of had for this week. I mean, I'm obviously fangirling over a bunch of stuff. But this is Sarge. He's our other kitty. He's so sweet. He's a little devil sometimes, but he's really nice. We have Granite and Sarge. But yeah, I think that's all I had for this week. Yeah, it's kind of awkward, I'm sorry. But yeah, if you like it, have questions, comments, concerns, whatever, let me know. Leave a comment, send me a message on Instagram. all that good stuff. If there's anything you want to hear about, let me know. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. But yeah, I guess that's it for this week. Do you want to say bye, Serge?